David Graham runs the trust, and they do some magnificent work. They see some roughies come through, and they throw them in the ring, and they do all sorts of things. Let's find out what they do and what the problem is and how you can turn these kids around. David, g'day, nice to have you on the program.
Yeah, good to be here.
Thanks so much for coming in. What is it you guys do? Tell us what you guys. Yeah, I got you loud and clear, mate. Tell us what you guys do and what you see. And you're on the street level, so you see all this. So you tell us.
Yeah, I thought I might tell you a story. It's a story that's pretty close to heart. It's about my father and where he comes from, and just responding to the conversation with that last caller. Dad grew up in the 50s in Nainai in the Hutt Valley, the mighty Hutt Valley. And his father came back after 5 years fighting against Rommel's troops in Africa, and everything that came with the damage that happened to those men, that came out against those kids in the 40s and 50s. All of the abuse, all of the all the bashings and everything else. And you know what? My father's never made his dad sound like an awful human to me.
Wow.
But you know what? I've just had a son. He's 3 months old, and in one generation, my father put a stop to all of that damage. And so in 2 generations, to my little fella, he's got no idea of all of the awful things that went on in the 50s, because one man said, no, that's enough. We've had enough of it. We're going to have a new change. And how that came about is that in 1956, my father broke into the Griffin's Biscuit Factory, which was at the bottom of the Waifatu, bottom of the Wairoi Hill. He came out with a whole trolley full of marshmallow pus. And the local cop didn't think it was very good, so he took him along to a local boxing gym, and it was there that Dad met his coach, the famous Mr. Dunn. Now, all the story goes on from there, but what I wanted to hone in on is actually not a mystery about what works. Here it is. You find something that young people are attracted to, that they'll get out of bed for, that they love doing. And then you find a loving, solid community who've got expertise in that thing, and off you go. Dad got taken into a boxing gym. He loved fighting. Behind the school sheds, and they love fighting. And instead, his coach taught him how to box. There's an immediate attraction there. Dad found something that he was good at, which was, he thought it was fighting, but they turned that around. His coach said, we're going to stop fighting, we're going to start boxing. And Dad spent 15 years in that gym. Now, because he wanted to be there, it was his choice. When everything else was going on, all the hell that was going on in his world, he climbed out the window and found his way to that boxing gym. And while he was in that gym, throughout his adolescence, he had good men, he had good women, he had good peers around him, and that's where the difference was made. So it's actually not rocket science. And in 2006, my folks started off the Mana Boxing Academy, and there's no charity set up, there's no youth development expertise, there's none of that. They loved boxing, they had expertise in it. Well, Dad did. Mum was definitely on a learning journey, and then her dear son walked into it, me. But they started off that because they knew that the kids in the community were going to be attracted to it. Well, they opened the doors in February 2006, and 100 kids walked in, and the place has been full ever since. And we support 4 academies around the country, and we're working with another 4 communities right now. There's 130 kids on the wait list for the Nana Boxing Academy, from all walks of life. It's not rocket science. And I got excited, actually, because I got this phone call yesterday from the producer, and the chap said, we don't want to hear about all the stuff that's going on, Dad. We want to hear about solutions. I thought, finally, we've got a conversation that's going to be solutions-focused. So you excuse the passion in my voice. I'm wrapped to do that.
No. And the reason why I wanted to come to you guys is because I'm a Wellington boy, okay? So I've met your dad, and I know what you do. Okay, so I'm from Wellington, and so I very well know what you do, hence why I wanted to get you guys on today. And I really hold your dad in such high regard, I really do. It's a lovely, amazing guy. My father, I just wanted to go back a bit. Like your father, sorry. My father would whack us, right? And it was done because we were naughty. And so I learned very early on that what's the best way to deal with it is violence. I ended up having 4 children. Okay, they're 22, 20, 15 and 13. I've never hit them. I stopped it. I decided to one generation, just one line in the sand to stop it, and I stopped it. I don't talk about it much. I'm really proud of it. Now, people around me, adults around me, say to me, older than me, say, "Oh, you guys are going soft. You got to sort them out." No, I don't believe a guy my size should be whacking a kid. So I stopped it. So I'm really pleased about that, and I'm proud of that. There'll be others on this program who disagree with me and say that I should have, but no, I found other ways to do it. And I can talk about those later on. But I believe in getting kids busy. And you said it right there. You said getting kids doing things they love. Kids are leaving school at 9, 10, 11 years of age because they don't find it relevant. They can't stand the approach. They're totally checked out. They find nothing in it. But they love to UFC, or they love boxing, or they love whatever it is. Take them somewhere that they like, and they will turn up every day. I think you guys are wonderful. Your waiting list worries me though. You need do you need help? Do you need support? What do you need?
Yeah, we do. The problem is that we bring a whole bunch of young people off the wait list, and then the retention rate is that high. We've got young people that have been in our academy for 10, 11, 12 years. Yeah, and that's because they love it. And so we do need the support. It's either we look at good prevention models that are going to get the work done and stop these kids from really getting into serious trouble. Where there is, I'm not going to say there's no turning around, but it's a lot harder when they get into that real high end space. And so we need to be investing in prevention. And just on that, we've been talking with a few of our contacts in government about this, and we want to get this message across. At the moment, we talk about two different things. There's prevention and there's intervention. And it's almost like the two kind of, neither of the two shall meet. We operate under, we call it the 70-20-10 model. 70% of our young people, they're on our page, they get our culture, they're going in the same direction. If you walked into the Nine Boxing Academy this evening, and you're welcome to it, at 5, 6 p.m, you'll get handshakes from a whole bunch of kids that'll make you feel welcome. So 70% of the young people are going on our page. 20% are neither here nor there. And then 10%, they're the real hard case kids. They're the young people that are coming in from police, from OT. And what we do is we set it up so that the 70 wrap up the 20, and they've got 90% of kids going in the same direction. And if you've got 90% of kids going in the same direction, it's really difficult for that 10% to buck the system. So what we're trying to get across is that a good prevention model that brings in, uses a vehicle that are attractive to a diverse range of young people. When you build that community, you create an environment where friendships are formed. You can bring anybody in there and they walk in and nobody's using bad language. Nobody's wearing hats. Everybody's smiling and shaking hands. And guess what they do? It's just a general exercise in positive peer pressure. They follow suit.